You say you'll be down in 5. The smell of your perfume is floating down the stairs. You're fixing up your hair like you do. I know that I'll be a mess the second that I see you. You won't be surprised, it happens every time, it's nothing new. It's always on a night like tonight. I thank God you can read my mind, 'cause when you look at me with those eyes,
Love is freely given and freely accepted, just as God's love of us is unconditional and free. As we stand here, we're reminded that the love of God is like the ocean. You can see its beginnings, but you cannot see its ends. I would like to share with you what Paul wrote about love in his letter to the Corinthians. Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast. It is not proud. It is not rude. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. Before you share your vows today, I'd like to ask you both to reflect on one definition of marriage. Marriage is perhaps the greatest and most challenging of all human relationships. And no ceremony can create your marriage. Only you can do that. Through love and patience, through dedication and perseverance, through talking and listening, helping and supporting, and believing in each other. Through tenderness and laughter and fun, through learning to forgive, learning to appreciate your differences, always respecting one another, and by learning to make the important things of life matter, and then let go of the rest. I urge you to both to try daily to recall the magic of those first few moments when you realized you were falling in love. As you share today one of life's greatest commitments and declaration of love, your marriage ceremony. And now it is time to say your vows to one another. No other words are more sacred than those that you're about to share. And Daniel, if you'd like to go first.
Even though we started dating at different times in our minds, I'm so glad God's plan was for me to find a best friend first, and then a wife as a forever type of thing. Jackie, everything I've dreamed of and every choice I've made led me to this. You, me, right here, right now, I dedicate myself to your happiness, your success, and that beautiful smile. I promise to be patient and to remember that all things between us are rooted in love. I promise to share my whole heart with you and to remember to show you how deeply I care for you. No matter the challenges that may come our way, I promise to love you loyally and fiercely. As we grow together and fill our home and life we build with love. A love like this takes time, and I vow to love you unconditionally until the end of time, and vow to be your husband forever.
That's beautiful.
Oh my goodness. Dan, I love you so much. Just the thought of you makes me smile. Your laugh lifts my spirits, and your hugs still give me butterflies. You're the sweetest person I know, You've got a huge heart, and I'm so happy you've chosen to share it with me. I remember the moment I first fell in love with you. A snowstorm hit because it's New England. And I had a bunch of exams coming up and had to study, and I was looking real rough. And in the middle of a snowstorm, you drove to my house just to bring me some stew that you made. And you even complimented my study sweats, even though I looked a hot mess. You didn't want anything in return. You didn't even want to come in because you didn't want to distract me. You just wanted to make sure I had food during a snowstorm. That's when I knew I needed to hold on to you. That's when I knew I was going to spend the rest of my life with you. Dan, I promise I'll love and cherish you. I promise to listen and always be willing to communicate. I promise to be the best version of myself possible, because you only deserve the best. I promise to play video games with you at least once a month. And I promise to try every new hot sauce you bring home. I promise to be your partner in crime during the good times and the bad. I love you, and I can't wait to grow with you and see what adventures married life brings.
Nice.
Oh.
That was beautiful. And now, Daniel, I have a very, very important question to ask you. If you'd repeat after me, please. Do you, Daniel, take Jacqueline to have and to hold in sickness and in health, for richer or poorer, and promise to love her for all the days of your life?
I do.
And Jacqueline, do you take Daniel to be your husband, to have and to hold in sickness and in health, for richer, for poorer, and promise to love him for all of his days?
I do.
Daniel and Jacqueline, you have chosen to exchange rings today as a sign of your mutual commitment. The wedding rings are an outward and visible sign of an inward and spiritual bond that unites two hearts and souls. Like a ring, love freely given has no beginning and no end. May these rings remind you of the vows you've spoken today, and may be the symbol of a daily blessing you share together always. And Daniel, if you would please place the ring you've chosen for Jacqueline on her finger and repeat after me. Jacqueline, I give you this ring
Give you this ring,
as a token of my love
a token of my love,
and a pledge of my constant faith
a pledge of my constant faith,
and abiding love always.
abiding love always.
And Jacqueline, if you would slip the ring you've chosen for Daniel on his finger and repeat after me, please. Daniel, I give you this ring as a token and pledge of my constant faith and abiding love. Let the foundation of your union be the pure love that you have for each other, not just at this moment, but for all the days ahead. Honor faithfully the commitments you bring today. And now I would like you to share with your family and friends a special sand ceremony.
Both stand on this side.
Dan and Jackie, today, as you join your separate lives together, are choosing to pour 2 separate bottles of sand, each symbolizing your separate lives, your separate families, and your separate set of friends. They represent all that you are and all that you will ever be as an individual. They are also representing of your lives today. As these 2 bottles of sand are now poured into this hourglass, the individual containers of sand will no longer exist. They will be joined together as one until the end of time. And just as these grains of sand can never be separated and poured again into individual bottles, so will your marriage be.
All right.
Wow. So we know that can never be separated, don't we? We work very hard at that. As I said before, I hope you two will honor faithfully the statements and commitments that you bring here today. And my hope for you both is like these solid cliffs, these invincible mountains surrounding us today, that your love for one another remains strong and invincible for all of your days. And may your future days together continue to be a wonderful, happy adventure. And now, by the power vested in me by the state of Maine, I am ready to pronounce you man and wife. You may kiss your bride. If I could introduce for the very first time Mr. and Mrs. Daniel Inman.
I'm speechless, staring at you standing there in that dress. What it's doing to me ain't a secret, 'cause watching you is all that I can do. And I'm speechless, you already know that you're my weakness. After all this time I'm just as nervous every time you walk into the room. I'm speechless.